But yeah, I've been just dealing with like a lot of people. Not like they haven't told me, but I think I've talked about this before. But I think a lot of people hate me. I get paranoid, and so I'm getting hit with that. I think today.
It's got to be health. You don't know that it's true or not.
Yeah, it can be very tough. It can be, yeah, and it's hard because like you can't really ask people if they hate you or not because I don't know, it's just like a weird question, and yeah, but I especially feel like the Edmonton comedy community hates me.
Really?
I do think that, but like I know it's stories in my head.
Yeah.
But I feel that way sometimes. I feel that way sometimes, and then I feel that way not all the time.
Good.
But like,
what's the difference between the times you feel it and the times you don't?
So you want to hear about the basketball tournament?
Guys, it was crazy.
It was so crazy. There was so many winners in one group.
We played big men.
We did, but we had bigger asses.
But we had low center of gravity.
And distracting boobs.
Ass and tit.
Absolutely. Don't want to brag, but all members of our team got one basket.
Yeah, we each got a basket. And this one guy, Justin, who's like super tall, was just standing under the net the whole time.
They had one good player, right? Justin Hicks. He's probably a fucking ringer. He's not even really that funny.
I was a part of the Edmonton Comedy Basketball Tournament. Not only was I a part of it, I was a part of the winning team, the Manila Gorillas. Shout out the boys. Justin Hicks, the Viking, and Head Christian. Hell yeah.
The fact that Brandon got $100 off this is just fucking... I've had time to process it, so I'm not as angry as I was. Come on through, man. But it's just fucking... It's stupid, man. I'm hooping all the time. These guys come in, use one fucking huge gorilla of a man, score all their buckets.
We don't tolerate any type of trash talk from these people. They're saying that we got carried, but I think it was equal effort from all teammates that got us that W. I got points up on the board. Heg had points up on the board. Justin had a couple.
Practice all the time. We deserved this tournament. This was horse shit.
Some people around the scene that have some pretty harsh opinions towards the Manila Gorillas taking on the championship.
Me, Leo, and Adrian have been grinding.
I chatted a world of shit.
What happened? Genetics. Drugs, probably. Right? We were on some, not the right ones. They were on steroids.
Nobody on the Manila Gorillas was using any PEDs, okay? That was just grit and hustle that got us that championship. Just determination. The good old-fashioned steroid determination.
Justin's huge, man. Have you seen Justin Hicks?
It's like touching this wall.
We went to like go body and just bounce right the fuck off.
It was a lot more intense than I anticipated. Some of the ballers were a lot more talented. I thought it was going to be easy money, but it was a little bit more challenging.
I chatted, honestly, a universe of shit. And then I got beaten by a man who is built literally like LeBron James.
Blown at wheels going to affect you in the finals? I can't see it affecting my game. I'm pretty unfuckable, so unfuckwithable, damn it.
He's cute, but I don't know what he's doing in the paint with me, to be honest.
Just a white LeBron who can't dunk.
I dunked on Jules Belufi, like dunking on a girl from New York. She can't be challenging me in the paint like that. She called me a bitch.
But who can do everything besides dunk, including dislocate my shoulder. And then Harshawn didn't call that as a... You know what? I'm going back there.
Adrian Kuhl was not a fan of my reffing at all. They actually got really mad at me after the game, and I was worried for our friendship. Then I saw him a few hours later, and it was all cool.
You know Harshawn doesn't know the rules of basketball?
I'd like to think I know it kind of well. I think a lot of the players would disagree.
I don't think Harshawn knows what basketball is, but he was enthusiastic.
Dude, it was so stressful because you have to deal with basketball. So the hardest games to ref, and the comedians who are some of the hardest people to deal with.
When I started in comedy, there were comics that wouldn't do shows if other comics were on shows. I don't think that they would have played basketball together. They wouldn't have even worked together.
It used to be really tough and nobody was really nice about it, and everybody was just fighting to get ahead.
Let's backtrack though for a second. So it was organized by Nick McQuick, one of like the father figures of the Edmonton scene. He put together this little tournament just one day, posted on the Facebook group, hey, let's have a comics basketball tournament. And I was like, of course.
My name is Jules Belufi. I've been doing comedy for 2 years now. And tonight I am hosting the comic strip amateur, the Pro-Am show that we do every Tuesday. Nick McQuick's given me a lot of pointers when, I asked if I could host this show. And my friend Alex Jonko, she hosts The Underdog and the stand-up show, so she's been helpful. And then just honestly watching other people host shows has been the most helpful thing.
You want positive energy, you want to bring up like the thing you want to always be excited. An audience is an empathetic creature, so if you're like, oh my god, this next comic coming to the stage is incredible, then they're going to be like, oh wow, this is great. So it's much more about being entertaining than it is about being funny.
The community is a lot nicer now and more open to being friends.
Do you look back and think of anyone that like kind of paved that way?
No.
The Dalai Lama, and he said to be the change. And I come from a small town. I don't really fit in anywhere, but I know how to make a small town. So that's what I'm trying to do.
This is going to sound cheesy. It's like someone who teaches you how to love or how to accept people, and I find it so much easier to accept other people now and not be resentful or want them to change, whether it's almost like training wheels for love. Like once you kind of knows what it feels like, it's so easier to extend it to other people.
I just don't like Christmas at all. I don't like it. I grew up poor. Christmas was never good. So I just figure why not do something that makes everyone a little bit happy? No expectations. The gifts can be joke gifts. They can be insult gifts. They can be whatever. But it just encourages people to like think about each other a little bit, get out of their own mindset, and maybe give back to the community. And then it lets new comics meet old comics and kind of like level the playing field, make it more approachable to talk to some of the old great comics like Dan Brodribb. Very intimidating man to talk to. Just sweet treats for everybody. Everybody's welcome. If anybody has beef with anybody else, I'll kill them. I'll kill them and hide the fucking body. Everybody has to get along. It's a night of peace. That's how it works. It encourages a lot of people to go digging through their car looking for gifts for other people at last minute. Oh my god. Are you giving away comedy boards?
This is the sir. I'm Kevin Light. I've been doing comedy about 8 years in Edmonton. I'm having a fun time doing it all the time. You meet a ton of new people, and we're at the Christmas gift exchange, which is a thing that when we first organized it, I thought it was a joke. That was a mean trick that we were playing on all the new comics because we don't ever do shit. And then someone started doing this, and then we just kept it going. And actually, I kind of like it because Christmas is awesome and also kind of sad and depressing. And it's nice to just share it with people that you chose to share it with. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. Comedians in Edmonton have been making more of an effort to be more generally social as opposed to just like socializing at shows, which is just like what we were usually content to do, is just like go to shows, and if you wanted to like connect more with people, you could, but you could just like show up, do a spot, and leave, and that was like business as usual. But like now, people are like definitely trying to like be friendlier and like create more of a community, be more welcoming, encouraging more new acts. We used to just bully people. We used to just make people quit within the first like month or two.
Can you talk more about that?
That's a lie. He's only been nothing but nice. He's putting on airs right now. He's faking for the fucking camera.
Not me. I don't bully people.
Yeah, you don't bully people.
That's right. Say it. Say
You're
it.
the reason we don't anymore.
Is this still the basketball one?
No. Is this still the basketball one? I don't know how many fucking movies you're making. What is this? What is this, Titanic 2? What are we filming here? You want me to get naked for this one?
The more I struggle with climbing to the top, the more I just sink down because I'll never be happy.
Yeah, and so much of it is comparison, I think.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're talking, I hear myself in that, my own inner voice, but I don't hold other comics to that standard. I'm happy they got up, what they bomb, they don't bomb, I still love them. I'm like, that love and that acceptance is there all the time.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's there from the other comics towards me as well, but it's just when you're lonely or when you're depressed or when you just can't see it.
Iron sharpens iron. I think it's in the Bible or something. Or what's the other one? High tide lifts all sails or whatever. So it's everyone gets better around you. You have no choice but to get better. If you are the best comedian in your scene, then that's an issue because you're not going to get any better. So if you're making everyone else around you good, then you all get better because you see each other working hard. You see each other's new jokes. You see each other getting better, makes you get better because you have to meet that standard. If you're only giving stage time to yourself, then you're getting better. You're not comparing yourself to anyone. And it's just, you can't have one comic on a show. That's no fun. And everything's fun when you have friends, you know. Comedy's fun because you're a fan of your friends. You think their stand-up is good. So it's fun to actually create work for people you're fans of, to get to be like, wow, I created this. I filled this room full of people, and I'm showing these people this comedian I'm a big fan of, and he's getting paid good money out of it, and they're seeing this comedian that they might not have ever seen unless I put this together. So there's something satisfying in that as well.
When I say action, you're going to do your thing, okay? 3, 2, 1, action.
Do what thing? My name is Noah Brodribb. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 5 years. My first comedy show was the Grindstone Wide Open Mic. I found it. I was sitting in an English class at the University of Alberta during syllabus week, and I was so bored, and I Googled when the next open mic would be, and it was that night. So I took my mom's minivan to the Grindstone from St. Albert, and that was my first show in 2019. A show like this is actually very easy for me to run because the bar does pretty good promotion. There's always people here. I don't have to stress about it. They pay me either way, which is very nice of them. And it's low stakes. So I guess the skills involved, you got to get good at hosting, which is just reps. You do hosting a lot. You got to kind of build up the reputation of a good show. Like when we started this show, there was no one here ever. We canceled every other week that one summer that you started, Dan. Another comic was telling me that they have a really hard time getting tapes because they're not passed at either of the clubs. And it's really hard at an open mic to get a good 5-minute tape where the crowd's hot, the sound's good, everything like that. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to get all of the comics who have been considered in the past to be on one show. I think a total of 25 comics doing 5 to 6 minutes each. And we did great shows. I wanted to show just for laughs that Edmonton was worth coming to. That was the main focus, was to be like, even though you deemed us, budget cuts this year, now you know that we have these 25 really good comics who all killed for a sold-out crowd. I just wanted to give everyone a chance because I just know comics, it's hard to get a 5-minute clip, a 5-minute tape that you're comfortable sending in, and a lot of comics seemed wishy-washy on it, and I thought if I made it easy for everyone and filled up a room and set up the camera for them, they'd have no excuse not to just put together a really good 5 or 6 minute set and send it in.
I was absolutely amazed at this community here in Edmonton because all of a sudden I get a message just from another comedian, producer kind of guy around here who put together 2 nights and rented out the Grindstone here, gave us an opportunity to submit and give proper submissions and videos with proper quality and something we could be proud of. I've never felt that before. Usually it felt like a competition to do these kind of things. And when you're submitting, you're trying to make sure yours is better than the next person's because you want to stand out. And that could be the person who's before you, the host of the show, the person after you, anything. But I didn't get that feel. It just felt like an actual festival itself in its own right.
I never feel like the other comics are my competition here. I do feel like we kind of all work together in a way where, I don't know, we all lift each other up and yeah, I guess I just don't feel like we are technically competing. I want everybody to do well. If somebody comes from our scene and does really well and goes to JFL and, gets new faces in the future, it only helps us. It only helps everybody else. So I don't think you should view it as competition.
Man, Edmonton has such a tight scene. Everybody's so friendly with each other. So it really just feels like kicking it with friends, It's not really, I don't put anybody on too high of a pedestal, even though I should, because we know a lot of guys are they're like killers here in the scene, silent killers too. And yeah, just all love all around.
But people are pretty good at not drawing lines and saying that if you're this type of comic, you can't come here. It seems like everyone is welcome to do every show. So I think we're a very welcoming comedy scene. There's other comedy scenes in Canada that aren't like that. Edmonton is very welcoming in terms of like, there's no one sees each other as competition. Everyone is trying to make everyone better and provide for the community, which I think is pretty unique, and it makes everyone better.
One of the really nice things about our scene is that, yes, there's competition because we're all trying to be the best and get booked on whatever shows, but it never feels like competition because everyone's everyone for the most part is very friendly and trying to help each other out and trying to put each other on shows. And, when I see someone in the scene that I like get an opportunity, I'm not like, should have been me. I'm more, it's just, I think one thing that Sterling Scott always has said to me I've been lucky enough to kind of have him as a mentor from like my sort of first year or two in comedy is he's like, if one of us wins, we all win. And so the more people coming out of our city that are getting opportunities and crushing them and doing festivals and whatever, the better it makes us all look. And so I don't see it as competition.
This is my first year actually submitting or even anything coming near them. I was excited for them to show up to Edmonton, but they didn't.
Just for Laughs, as history will show, was canceled this summer, and that the talent scout was promptly fired.
It was something that, even though it didn't end up going to JFL or anything, it was created for us and for us to have as a community and for all of us to have something we're very proud of and we worked very hard for and we put together. Because I've never auditioned for JFL. I don't know what they're looking for, and I don't know if I'm what they're looking for. My comedy gets very dark sometimes and things like that, but there's different categories. But it wasn't about that. It was about, we had a great room, a great audience, the crowd loved it, and the comedians, I think, really got a lot out of it.
Part of me just feels like the point is moot now that we know JFL isn't happening this year. But overall, I feel it's kind of nice to know that we can try to take things into our own hands and make the most of a bad lot. I feel like they kind of missed out without having a showcase here because we have so many good comics. So, and if anything, we just put on a good show. So there's nothing to lose because audiences came, they had a really good time. The night that I did it, it was really hot. And so I feel pretty good about it.
I'm out of time. I wanted to tell more jokes. But I want you guys to know one thing only. Fuck the festival. Fuck the showcase. The laughs we had tonight, the joy we shared in this room, that's what makes every comic back there live the dream. No matter what happens tonight. Don't let no festival, no person tell you what greatness is when it walks in the room.
Thank you to all the companies who have booked me as the warm-up act this year. I think that was very nice of you, and I'm sorry for bombing, and I didn't mean to say pussy that many times. I forgot it was clean.
Okay, it's not fucking screaming anymore. Alright, that's good.
Love you.